Hello, I'm Shasta with the Orange County Library System here at the West Oaks branch in Ocoee, Florida. It is February 19th, 2013, and we're capturing memories from our community. Will you please tell us your name and where you're from?
I'm Corb Sarchet, and I live now in the Gulf area, which is between Ocoee and Windermere.
Okay. And can you tell us how you came to live in the area?
Well, this is kind of a funny story in a way, but the short version is that our son moved out here, and since the two granddaughters went with him, we had to move to be next door almost to the granddaughters.
Nice. Okay. And how long ago was that? How long have you been here?
Been in our present home in Gotha since January of 2000. I've been in the Orlando area since mid-1969.
And where else did you live in the Orlando area?
In the Delaney Park area, and then which would include a house on facing Delaney Park, and then the Lake Copeland condos, which look at Lake Copeland.
What is your earliest memory of Ocoee?
Well, my earliest memory of Ocoee was when I was actually the chairman of the Downtown Development Board. I was the first executive director, and so we would have area-wide movements, and came out here and got to be well acquainted with Mayor Scott Evangelist. So he and I go back a long way of working in the governmental area.
What do you love about Ocoee? What makes it stand out?
I think the part of the thing that I like about Ocoee is that it doesn't have, in the most common sense, a downtown. It has kind of a scattering of little centers, but not what you would call a real core downtown. And how it's been able to maintain that, I think, is due to a lot of diligence by residents of Ocoee who don't mind going to big shopping centers and downtown areas in the surrounding community, but like to keep it small and simple in Ocoee. Ocoee has a great history, and not all of it is the most, shall we say, joyful, because there are some very bad moments in Ocoee's history. But it is also probably one of the most tolerant and diverse communities in these modern days, where back in the 20s and 30s, and even extending to the 40s, it had some very dark moments. So I think the good thing about Ocoee is that they have completely, over a period of about 20 years, completely reversed its image with containing a wide range of economic levels, with celebrations for Hispanics, for African Americans, for just about any cultural group that you can think of.
And what other changes have you personally seen here over the years? Have you noticed much development?
Oh, it's been a tremendous development, you know. Where the city limits hardly extended when I first started in being in the Ocoee area was hardly extended south of State Road 50, and not much further north than the probably up more than 4 or 5 miles above State 50. I think one of the interesting things about Ocoee is that when in the 1920s, when the 2000 up era, when they started in building a lot of subdivisions to the south of State Road 50, that there were a lot of subdivisions that were within the Ocoee city limits that way, who started in using as the name of their subdivision Windermere. So finally, Ocoee changed its housing regulations to say that if you're going to be in Ocoee, you're not going to have a name of Windermere in your subdivision name. And I thought, that was good, because there were a lot of people buying to get the Windermere name, which is a very high-priced residential community now.
Sure.
Now, my perspective on that is that since 1974, I've been in the real estate business, and have been somewhat active in sales and leasing in the Ocoee area. My favorite place in Ocoee, and I'm not doing this as a commercial, but is actually the Ocoee Cafe. It's a mom and pop diner, and if you haven't been there, you need to go there, because it is really tasty.
What's your favorite thing to eat there?
Well, it depends on the time of day.
Okay.
If it's breakfast, then they make great traditional scrambled eggs and bacon or sausage and toast, is that kind. In the afternoon or around noontime, they usually have a very interesting, what us old folks would call a blue plate special, So I don't particularly like to eat fish, so that's about the only thing I don't like there.
And can you tell us anything about your involvement with the library here in Ocoee?
Well, I'm now a director emeritus on the library board, or a trustee emeritus. I was actually president at the time at both this library and the Winter Garden Library were funded, but I was not. I was on just a regular board of members when they were actually built. So my name is down in the little corner of the plaque, and not at the top in the bigger letters. But I still say that this library here in West Oaks is my favorite library of all of them. I am here, as you well know, at least once a week. The funny thing was when we had the opening of this library was that a member of the senior library staff was in charge of the ribbon cutting. And so the plan was that we would all line up. Dorothy Fields was the director of the library at that time. And she had a great big pair of scissors. And so when she was supposed to cut the ribbon, the doors would automatically open. She cut the ribbon, and the doors didn't open. They weren't turned on and off, they were off the track. So a comptroller, a senior staff member who was in charge of that, he had to go and manually open them, much to the hilarity of the people gathered for the event, and to his embarrassment and Dorothy's embarrassment, that the doors didn't open when they were supposed to.
And one final question. What do you think the future holds for Ocoee?
I would I would say that in the Ocoee area, they have a good amount of opportunities for further development. But while they follow some very good rules in their oversight of the building, they need to, as almost every city government does, is to be more deliberate in the inspections of houses being built. When there is a whole surge of houses being built, that the housing inspectors are hard pressed to get around as the houses are ready to get their certificate of occupancy. And so they don't always have the leisure or the inclination to spend a lot of time on those final inspections. I think this doesn't have to do with Ocoee, but the great example of that is that when the big hurricane struck down in the Miami area, and they had Homestead, they had all those houses destroyed. There were building inspectors that were reporting that they were doing 1,000 to 1,500 house inspections a day. No way could you do anything except drive by and look at it and then check it off and keep on going. So that is a real danger if the flip over to a housing boom. But I think Ocoee will live up to that. I have one other thing about this library. Back in 1974, when I was still with the downtown redevelopment board, we started the Fiesta in the Park series, and that still continues. And we have a situation where the Best of Show winner in each fall fiesta is bought by the deal, and the art piece is donated to the branches. So here we have a funny looking little art piece, which is actually a award from an award-winning sculptor and teacher who lives in South Orlando and has won numerous times at the Wisney Festival and festivals all over. So the squid is a piece of fantasy artwork, but that's what you have here.
Well, thank you so very much.
Well, thank you.